When I think of a prescriptive project, I think of a project that is very well defined, that has one outcome, and I have a clear objective through that project. And so one of the examples is creating a baking soda and vinegar volcano, right? And so I worked with a group of folks to design an interdisciplinary curriculum that became known as the Toy Car Project. And the Toy Car Project, the Toy Car Project involved me as the math teacher, another person as the science teacher, the English teacher, the history teacher, and the shop teachers. And the idea was that the kids were given a set of raw materials, and in shop they had to, in the mechanical shop they had to do the mechanical work, in the electric shop they had to do electric work. In math we looked at some of the mathematical equations and algebra around this project, and at the end they built this kind of, which they thought was beautiful. If you looked at pictures of them you'd think it was pretty crude, but these cars out of raw materials, and we had a competition. We set up a competition. The next is student guided. It's still a defined project, but a student guided project. And what do I mean by this? Well, an example of this is the after school projects that I worked on for so many years, the hybrid cars. Okay, so it became defined just by the nature of what we were doing. Each year we looked for a competition. The competition kind of defined the rules. The teachers decided we're going to build a cool car to win a competition, and then the kids had a ton of say in, well, what car, how are we going to look at the scoring of this competition and build a car that gets the best score. So they had a ton of ability to make decisions within those parameters. Is this kind of open-ended, student-led. And this is what we do at our school. So this is where students actually generate the ideas themselves. And what the school, the teachers do is provide the process to walk through. The framework, the structure, here's how you organize a project, here's how you assess it, and here's how you tie it to academic standards. So we provide the framework, but they design the project on their own. So this Bright Ideas project was, the problem that they wanted to solve was that incandescent bulbs waste a ton of electricity. And these new LED bulbs, over the lifetime of the bulbs, save consumers tons of money and also have a great environmental impact. So how can we get consumers to switch from highly inefficient, very inexpensive incandescent bulbs to these LED bulbs if they're so expensive? And so they ended up doing a ton of research. I don't know why they got excited about the idea, but they got really excited about it. Ended up working with Wharton professors, developed a business plan. I met with them and a person that raised a little bit of money. They're launching the business this year. They're partnering with one of the new electric companies. So if you get a thing from AmeriGreen in your mail, say switch to AmeriGreen, and you get free LED light bulbs, that's my students. And so what I would like for you guys to do is take a minute, hang your Post-it somewhere along the continuum, and then a few of you can tell us a little bit about why you chose that project and why you put it over there.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I actually wrote 3, but the first one, in a way, it's a little I think that they're all interdisciplinary, first of all. Like, we were reading and guided reading, and we read a book about volcanoes, one of the stories, and it's a small group, and a lot of times with guided reading, you can always do like a nice extension activity. So from reading about volcanoes, we decided to use molding clay and build volcanoes, so that tied into the science, and then we started talking about you know, making it erupt. So we used the vinegar and the baking soda, but you know, it was just a really great activity. One, the kids got to create something. They were able to document what happened. We were able to experiment. What if you add more vinegar? What if you add more baking soda? What happens? You know, things like that. So